That's right.
I'm getting much better at doing stuff like this. So we are live on my Facebook page.
Okay, exciting.
And there may or may not be people joining us.
Okay.
That's really okay. I really thank you for coming and having a chat with me. It's one of those things where one of the things we do in M2M is kindly challenge people to come and get more visible and have a go at things that scare them. So I really appreciate that this is not something that you used to do ever or do a lot. So I really, really appreciate you coming on and saying...
Yeah, I feel kind of pretty comfortable about it, to be honest. So maybe I shouldn't be, but anyway, I do.
No, you absolutely should be, and I'm so pleased that you are, because that in itself feels like a little shift to me. So tell me, if anyone was asking you what M2M is, either the foundations or 360 or just the experience, how would you describe it?
I think it is the group that matters. It's being part of a little kind of, I know you don't want it to be little, but at the moment it is, and I kind of quite like that, but it's like a group of people who are quite committed to personal and business growth, and in a way that, and with that we have the kind of the coaching calls, which are really useful, and then there's a structure to it, which I find useful, because structure is not something I can invent. Kind of need more structure. So it's sort of like I've got step by step saying it doesn't matter if you don't quite step by step it, but and I don't know if we do anymore, but it's good to have it there to kind of like follow through. There's a lot of resources and trainings, which are all really good. But I think it's the group really that makes it feel like a safe space, and like social media. When I used to blog years ago, and that felt safe, and of course it kind of wasn't. It was kind of wide open really, but it felt like a small group of people you were connecting with. And social media doesn't really feel like that anymore. So it's kind of like a little space within Facebook that you can say stuff that you wouldn't normally say, and celebrate in ways that you probably, I don't know, sometimes you wouldn't feel right about doing, and share issues that you're going through. So that's what it is for me.
Thank you for sharing that. And you said a little group, and then kind of went, but I know you want it to be a group. I want it always to be a safe group. That is the most important thing for me, and the people that tend to be attracted and the people that tend to say yes and join the group are rebel hearts and really open and treat each other like they would want to be treated. And it's a really engaged space, and it brings me so much joy when I log in the morning and see you all chatting and celebrating with each other. And that is the beauty, I guess, of 360, of having that space to go to and create friendships, particularly as when we're growing and changing. The other friendships that we've got might not always be the right place to have those sorts of conversations. Yeah.
Yes, well, but not all of them, and it's kind of like it's the dedication of it really that is, it's for a particular purpose in a way. Personal and business growth, that's quite general, but it is, it is for that purpose, isn't it? It's for growth, so I like it.
And so if someone's sitting here going, yeah, but it's for, and they have some kind of daydream in their head about the kind of people it's for, what is your business, or what do you do, and how has that shifted or evolved since you joined?
Well, I still do two things. I work as a coach, and I work as an artist, and I work as a person who coaches artists, I suppose. So it's merging.
Yeah.
The difference is I'm learning to focus much more than I did, and there's sort of like some kind of key business principles that finally going in, I think, and it's working, so it's quite exciting, just learning how to market effectively, in a way that is appealing and not off-putting. I think that's been the key thing I've learned, is how to kind of present myself in the world much better and more succinctly than I used to. Getting better all the time.
Absolutely, every single day. And how has it shifted your confidence, or has it shifted your confidence in any way?
I think over the last few years, there's a lot of things that have shifted my confidence, but yes, it has, because it's given me real tools to kind of use that make sense. It takes me a while for things to make sense, but when they make sense, they do click and I get them. So that's given me confidence to present myself more clearly to people in the world.
And what, before you joined M2M, what was your belief either about yourself or your business, and what do you believe now? I don't know if I can remember what I thought before. I remember getting to a point where I thought, I understand why it's important to invest in some form of coaching and support. And I found myself in the position I went from like, oh, I can't possibly afford that, to thinking, actually I can, and that's actually really reasonable, and I think that's going to be valuable. So I think that's what shifted, perhaps, was that I don't know if I trusted that having support would really help, but it has, and I feel that I'm getting really good value from it. So that shifted. It's not quite the same as me and my business. I think being able to, and I don't know if I'm doing it very well today, but being able to clearly describe what I do better in a more convincing way is something I feel more and more comfortable with doing. So that has changed. My Instagram has changed. You can like scroll back and have a look at that. How's it changed? I'm really interested about that. How's your Instagram changed?
My Instagram has changed in that it does look more like something that represents my business, perhaps. It's become more businessy. I mean, it's not completely, because I'm, it is me as well, but it really did used to be just personal photographs, and now it's like I'm looking at presenting the art side of what I do to the world much more, and kind of getting to focusing on that. So if you look at my Instagram, you can see lots of pictures of my art. You can see sort of little kind of it's very brightly coloured. It's got a kind of sort of little sayings dropped in it, but like in a way that I think it represents I do the world painting, so it's kind of very brightly coloured and quite painterly in it.
One of the main things is it really represents your brand, and I don't know that you even had a brand before.
No, you were right. There we go. That's what it does.
Well, you had an idea of what you did, and you were doing it to some degree. Were you selling your art before you joined?
No, wasn't selling my art before I joined. Don't think I was doing the wild painting weekends either. I was just doing wild art journaling, which I've now stopped doing. So that's how it's changed. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. And would you say that it's? I guess. It's a very leading question. I'm really aware that I'm asking leading questions. One of the things that I get the feedback the most from people who come and do either M2M their foundations, or come and do 360, or come and do both. And Moira's been with us for such a long time now that she's watched it evolve and grow, which it has done in iterations over the last 3 years. But would you say it's just for business, or has it affected other areas of your life as well, like how you feel about yourself or your relationships or anything else?
I would say definitely it's affected all sides of. Yes, the 360, definitely. I have different, I think boundary setting was something I was not very good at, and that I am now getting better at, for sure. And that has meant for better relationships, actually.
Yeah, thank you. It's only because it is the feedback I get most often from people, is, I signed up because I decided that eventually, it was worth investing in my business, and I trusted that I might, that it might actually work for me. And then, having done the process, the feedback is often, it was much more than just growing my business and getting kind of business confidence. Actually, it's up-leveled everywhere.
As I said, it is interested in personal and business growth. It's not just business, it is also personal growth as well. So it's nice to kind of be on that journey with other people who want to talk about that stuff and are interested in that stuff and support you in that stuff. And we're all getting to know each other a little bit, so we know that when one person, I don't know, says, I don't know, no, I don't want the teaspoons in that drawer. You know, it's a big deal for them, and you kind of like, we all cheer. That's a completely random example. I made that up completely. Everyone's going to think somebody had a thing about teaspoons in the drawer now, aren't I? I'm denying it too much. There's nothing about teaspoons in the drawer, but see what I mean? Big my husband, no, go away, I'm working now.
You know, and that was a huge thing for you, wasn't it? It really was. Yeah, thank you. Is there anything else that you, if someone is on the fence, if someone has been kind of, you know, had half an eye on the M2M stuff or me for a little while and they're unsure about the investment, M2M 360 is now $197 a month in dollars. That is $197 a month, and M2M, the foundations, is $465, and that's a lifetime access. So if someone's sitting on the fence and going, oh, I just don't know whether it's worth the investment, what might you say to them?
Well, it's been worth it for me. That's all I can say. I feel that I've got things out of it that, I mean, you know, if I'd had one-to-one coaching, I'm sure I'd have got stuff out of that. But, you know, it's been really valuable to me, and I've learned really good stuff. I like the resources as well. I think they're really good. And I think because there's so much out there in the world, you can go and pick all of these things up all by you, but you curate it. So it's kind of like, you don't have to sift through everything to find the good stuff in terms of the resources that you've got together. That's what I like about it as well. It's kind of like, there it is, here we are, it works, it's useful.
Thank you. If people want to come find out more about you, about coaching, about wild art journaling, or any of the things that you do, where is the best place for them to come and find you?
Instagram is my favourite place at the moment. I do have a website, which is moyrascott.com, so that's quite straightforward. I'm on everything. I'm just Moyra Scott, so Moyra with a Y. That's the only thing there, but you know, it's linked in there, isn't it? So you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. Don't do Twitter much, but those are all the places.
Fantastic. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to share with everyone listening about M2M. I really, really appreciate it. And I will perhaps see you on Thursday for a guest training.
Yes, I'm in London, so I will try and patch in.
Yeah, we've got Claire coming and talking about Pinterest. I'm excited about that. All right. I'm going to let you go. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to show people inside if I can handle the technology. Otherwise, I might just hang up on everyone. But if I can handle it, I'm going to say goodbye to you, and then I'm going to change my screen and see if I can show people inside M2M.
So, am I going now?
You are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, bye. Don't know if that worked. Yes, it worked. Okay, so now I'm going to try and do this and show you my screen here. And this is the inside of M2M, the foundations. So the foundations is here, and inside here then you can go to your account. You've got all the different pillars and some information in here. And let's say that you wanted to pop into pillar 2. Then what would happen is that this wonderful screen would open. And I just realised that I'm still splitting the screen. Let me see if I can change that. Let me... Aha! Did that work? I'm not entirely sure. If it did, you can now see my face with the video training. And then some information in there, and then some additional resources and stuff inside there. So that is what the foundations looks like, and the foundations is my DIY program. That means that you can work on everything at your own pace and go through what the Misfit to Maven way actually is. And then if you join 360, then you will come to this space. And in here, we have our backlog. You can come to our book club and see the recordings of the old ones. You can see the contents list. You can get the other cornerstones of booming business, where we have trainings that guest trainers have come in and done with us. So there'll be a little bit of me. There's a great thumbnail on this one, which you're gonna, really, really lovely, isn't that? And then we've got all of these different trainings, which we just had one with Kylie Slavic, and if you then go in here, this just pops up and you'll get a training from her. So yeah, that is the inside of both M2M the Foundations and M2M 360. And if I can figure out how to change the source of this and get my face back, then I will. There's one of me. Is this working? I genuinely have no idea. And now I'm gonna, I'm back. Technology, huh? So that's the inside of Misfit Maven the Foundations, which is the 8 pillars of practice that I used to build a solid foundation. They have become the solid foundation on which I've built my life, and they evolve and grow with you. They are pillars of practice, enabling you to create a life that is as unique and extraordinary as you are, that genuinely feels as good as it perhaps looks on the outside, but genuinely feels as good on the inside as it perhaps looks on the outside. And then M2M 360, rather than being DIY, we work through that content together, and we have 2 coaching calls a month, 2 group coaching calls a month, where everyone gets some attention and some time from me. And then we also have at least one guest training a month, and we also read a book together and do a book club call. So essentially you're getting one piece of access with me a week. And the community space, tons are in the archives in terms of resources linking you through to trainings on sales and marketing, systems and procedure, health and wellness, and then really helping you both with the internal work and the external work required to be a kick-ass and kind adult in our modern world. It works particularly well if you're self-employed or have a business, but there's also a huge amount of content, so all the internal work works just as well if you aren't self-employed and have no intention of becoming self-employed. So if you have any questions about any of that, I have no idea whether I can see comments, but I can't at the moment, so I'm presuming no one said anything. But if you have any questions, either pop them in now and I'm absolutely happy to answer them, or if they don't come up or you're watching the replay and you would like to ask me questions, then please do, and just tag me and I'll come and answer them all. And the doors are now open both to M2M the Foundations and to M2M 360. 360 has got absolutely no minimum tie-in, so you can come and just do a month with us. The minimum that I would invite you to come and join for is 3 months, because that way you get to do one full round through every single one of the pillars. So you get to do the 8 pillars of practice and a health and wellness, systems and procedure, and sales and marketing week. So you get 12 weeks, and that's how long it really takes to see a shift internally anyway, and to see that change. So the minimum I would invite you to do is 3 months. Like you probably heard when Moyra was on with me, a lot of people have joined and initially decided that they were going to come just for a small time, and then found that being in community has been so powerful and so great for them to have a safe place that they can go, have a safe place where nothing is off limits, where it's okay to be vulnerable, where it's okay to be authentic, where they can share what's going on in their business and their lives, and have the support of a community around them, particularly as often when we shift and grow, there's ripple effects and challenges that come up around that. So if you want to find out more, then go to ebonyallard.com/M2M Foundations, or at ebonyallard.com/M2M 360. And I am around for a little while, so if you have any questions at all, please tag me and ask them, and I will come back and answer them for you. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.